All right, guys. Somebody bought us a hammer here. Let's knock this out. So it's a 12-team Superflex, start 9, PPR, no tight end premium. At quarterbacks, Burrow, T-Law. At wide receiver, Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, JSN, Reed, and Hollywood. At running back, Chubb Cans. At tight end, Ferguson. Picks wise, 103, 203, 301, and 303. What are you doing with the 103 here? Let's start with you, Scott. But he says the 101's available. Already tried 103 plus Reed, 103 plus JSN. But is that too much? What do you think here? What are the moves?
It's a start 9. So immediately I'm looking at, as much as I hate consolidating, you do have some receivers to consolidate. Pretty much anyone besides Jefferson and Garrett Wilson is probably on the table to consolidate. So I'm fine doing the deals he proposed. I actually also don't hate the idea of shopping the 103. What else can you get for the 103? Because I would probably want to pick a quarterback, but you're going to have the pick of your litter basically after the top 2 players are off the board. We talked about this in the Discord last night. You know, how you feel if you have the 103 versus the 104 versus the 105, even if they're all in the same tier, which right now I think they are. But how much do you value that ability to choose? 103, Shane made a good point last night. 103, you have to choose. 104, you're going to get the benefit of if one player falls out of the tier, you still get the other player in the tier, but you also don't have to choose. 105, you're subject to whatever the 2 people ahead of you do. So I'm open to trading it. I'm open to either of those deals. Pretty much you're trying to just get a hammer. I guess my question, I'll kick it to Shane, is Shane, Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, is that enough? Or are you thinking I'm getting Jaden Daniels and I'll just shop everything else I have to see what else I can consolidate?
Yeah, so the second part of this, where it's like, oh, the 103 plus Jaden Daniels and JSN. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
103 plus Jaden
Reed plus JSN too much? No, I'd do that. I'd move up to the 101. I like Jaden Daniels a lot, but I still think Caleb's the best quarterback in the class. Like, it's fun for me saying that I'm going to take Jaden Daniels at 101, except that's not going to actually happen in real life, except for leagues where I'm like, all right, I need to, diversify like stocks and bonds. But no, dude, I'd trade all those ancillary wide receivers. And then you got Jefferson, G. Wilson.
Can this win? Can this win in a 12-team start 9? I mean, he's got Chubb Cans at running back. Are you looking at that 203 as maybe you can buy a body and still compete? Like, how are you adjusting that? I just don't see this as a rock solid contender to where I want to consolidate a bunch of stuff that I don't have.
My thing is it's a start 9. So I'm always going to consolidate. I always want superstars. I always want hammers. Like, I'm just buying hammers. Even if I'm not ready to compete, I'll buy a hammer this year. And then I'll try to buy another one next year until I'm ready to hammer people in the face and break their noses off.
Yeah, the only thing else I would say is that he's got some assets that are probably not worth a lot to the market, but could be even usable. Guys like Hollywood Brown, like, they're not going to be anything if you add them into a trade. But in a start 9, you can kind of use Hollywood Brown as like your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. He's your emergency policy because you can't probably get anything for him. JSN, Jaden Reed, those are the guys where you either consolidate, or another thing that I've been kind of talking to people about that are in these shallower leagues, a lot of times it's not obvious to be able to consolidate. People are smart. They're not going to take stuff to give you a stud. So how do you get consolidation trades without actually making it seem like you're consolidating? You re-roll pieces like Jaden Reed for a future first. And if it's the 102 next year, you consolidated, right? But the person didn't know you were consolidating against them until the pick matures. So I think it's using those assets to always kind of stay flexible because the deal might not always be there. To Shane's point, if you can just get Marvin Harrison for stuff, then do it. But if you can't, how else do you consolidate without just sending somebody 3 for 1 because they may not accept it?
Yeah, I love that actually. Moving Jaden Reed, Rashee Rice, really any of the wide receivers that finished in that I think they could be good type of production last year, and because they're not superstars, right? And they're most likely not going to be superstars based off their rookie year. They'll be good NFL producers. They'll be good fantasy assets, wide receiver 2s and whatnot. But yeah, re-roll them and try because you're shooting upside. So re-roll them and see if you can get something a little hammery. I
A little
wasn't
more
English.
hammer.
Yeah.
I hear you. Speaking of hammers, Pierre bought us 3. Thank you very much, sir. And he actually got us another one too, because he had an inbox offer right after this. But let's do this first, and then let's check the inbox offer. So 12-team Superflex PPR, it's 1.5 for tight ends, start 9. And let me just say to the crowd, if anybody's listening on replay and does not know, when we say start 9, we're talking about how many you start each week, not including kicker and defense, because they're not real people. So start 9, this is Burrow, A-Rich, Love. At running back, we have Spears and T-Cans. Flowers, Godwin, Watson, Burks at wide receiver, likely at tight end. In terms of picks, the 101, 111, 201, 203, 205, 209, so 4 seconds there, and has some thirds. Was going to take Marv, but others are asking about Love. Give Love and say the 203 for a mid to late 25 first and Aiyuk. What do you think? And then he says, do you prefer to target Kyron or Laporta instead of Aiyuk? I'm going to go back to the first page here.
So that's the inbox offer, I assume, is the Aiyuk and the 25 first for the 10 or the 203 and Jordan Love.
Sorry, what was that?
Is that the inbox offer? That's the inbox offer?
No, should I pull up the inbox offer? Let's do it right now. So new inbox offer just came in, same team. Love the 201, 205 for Diggs, 25 first and second, and a 26 first. Top 4 teams, so probably late, but league is year 2, so anything can happen. So yeah, it's give Love 201, 205, get Diggs a 25 first, second, and a 26 first. Here's this team.
He's already got Burrow and A-Rich.
Yeah, process, I would do that.
Yeah.
That's probably the best package you're going to get for one of your QBs. The 101, you're probably just taking Marv with this team. But the reason that you get those first is for essentially your roster construction is not where you'd want it. You don't have enough receivers. You're going to need to get running backs at some point. You're going to be able to take some more shots at receiver probably in this draft because you have that 111 and the 201. I'd rather do the Diggs and the 2 first deal than I would the Aiyuk and the 25 first deal, but I don't hate that one either. Especially, and again, this would be something that Shane would probably be looking to do aggressively. If you have 3 QBs like that, it's hard to turn down either of those trades, right? Because it's what you would be looking to do, and you're probably not able to get greedy for much more. And you like Aiyuk, you like first.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs you can probably hit or miss with, but he's still somebody then on a contender. I mean, you probably can use him for a year or 2. So I like both of those trades, honestly.
Yeah.
And then just play out the process. This is not a contender next year, but it's a team that you could look up and go, it's contending. And now I have extra picks in the future that I might be able to win with.
Yeah, that's what I like when I see trades where you're getting an older vet like Diggs, but with it you're getting a 25 first. So you can almost see that as a way to recycle. I don't know. It's like getting a little extra cushion in the trade. Okay, so let's remove this one. Thank you for those hammers, Pierre. And Shane was saying we got some supers. So we have super chats turned on as well as buy me a coffee. So if you go to buymeacoffee.com/trades-in-5, you can buy us hammers. We changed it to hammers, of course. Let's go to Tyler's here. Thank you for your super chat. It is a 12-team start 11. 1.5 for tight ends. Lamar Jackson, Goff, CMC, Spears, Hill, Diggs, Ridley, Andrews, Kelsey. And then at running back, Swift. Yeah, that's Swift. Traded Pittman and Baker for the 103. Feels like a mistake. Start 11, Pittman and Baker for the 103.
I mean, it's a mistake only if it's start 11, so it is a little bit deeper, obviously. But that ain't deep enough where I'm like, sure, Baker and Pittman is too much for the 103. No, bro. And this is where I always talk about, like, even if a calculator said that you paid too much on your side, that calculator isn't understanding the fact that you got one singular asset that's stronger that you can do more with than you could ever do with Pittman and Baker. Like, think about a trade where you could offer the 103 or Pittman and Baker. Which do you think is more likely to get done? So no, you didn't make a mistake.
The only thing I could say that I might have thought about differently was what else could you have done with a guy like Lamar Jackson? Could you have tiered down off Lamar, kind of kept your roster construction? Could you have got Lamar? Could you have moved Lamar for the 103 and gotten another piece on top? I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't hate the deal. I do look at his roster though, Shane. Like all he has is the 103 here. He's already. I don't want to say he's overweight at QB, but he can get by. But he's weak at everywhere
Running back,
else. So
wide
what?
receiver.
I mean, he's got CMC and Spears.
Well,
I mean, that's pretty solid. But
and wide receiver, he's also got Hill and Diggs. And I know Diggs was not great last year, but it's still Diggs.
yeah, and I guess he's got a couple other pieces that probably are fringe guys like Dotson or whatever.
Mhm.
But like, are you now looking to move out of the 103? Because you may have traded the 103 for a specific player, but what do you do with the 103 here? Is it just BPA? Is it a quarterback? Because I would say if you draft a quarterback here with that pick, odds are this team is not winning. And you also have CMC, Hill, Diggs, and Kelsey. Like it's almost like you gotta almost go for it with those guys on your roster, right? Otherwise, you're in a weird spot.
He's drafting Marvin Harrison,
Mhm.
or if he falls for some reason, or he's drafting Malik Neighbors, or whoever ends up being the wide receiver 2 of the class.
No QB consideration.
Not for me, no.
So then if that's the case, why give up the QB just to draft Neighbors when you already have Michael Pittman in a start 11?
Because you think Neighbors is significantly better than Michael Pittman. Like you think Neighbors can be a wide receiver 1. I mean, a legit wide receiver 1, not like back end.
Clay, are you doing that?
I don't know.
If you're locking in Neighbors, or are you thinking maybe there's an elite QB2 that you can then move off of for something different?
Yeah, I'm definitely still looking at that as a QB, in my head. I'm still comfortable with that. But I was thinking, okay, what if I were to trade back from the 103 and get a QB plus something? And I was like working it out in my head to where it's like, okay, Baker's the 108, let's say, Pittman's a 106. It made sense. The value to move up to 103 was about Pittman and Baker. I don't know.
I mean,
so if you could get Daniel Jones in the 105 and still get Malik Neighbors, would you want to do that deal?
No. Well, yeah, no. You're still getting Malik Neighbors, but you can't call it. You can't guarantee it. There's absolutely no
104.
Guarantee that.
104.
So I'm moving back 1 and getting a free Daniel Jones. Sure.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes. If I could do
that.
No
way. I'm not doing that right now. Come on.
That's how
this is getting gross.
You do some stuff like that, that's karma's going to come and get you. If someone else is going to trade up, take Malik Neighbors right in front of you, and you're going to be like, all right, I guess it's Jaden Daniels. I will say this, though. Just because he made this trade, this doesn't preclude him from still trying to move his other quarterback,
exactly,
like Lamar Jackson. He can still do that. You know what I mean? He could still downgrade at quarterback, see if he can get a first round, add it there. Or he could just trade Lamar for freaking early picks and go, all right, well, I'm replacing him at quarterback here. And I also have the 103. I'm going quarterback there. There's a whole plethora of things he could do. A plethora. I tell you, a plethora.
Yes, you did. You told us 3 times. So this was a hammer from, I am sorry I didn't write it down. It's definitely on the computer here somewhere, but thank you for it. It's a shallow one here, Shane. We'll start with you. It's a 12-team, 1 QB, half PPR, start 8. Own the 101, 102, 103. Considering offering the 103 for the 108 and 110 to a super team in need of wide receivers. I have Herbert, Bryce Young, Saquon, DJ Moore, JSN, London, Pitts. Is there any reason to make this move now? Any other ideas to move back into some RB dart throw ranges and a 1 QB? Because he thinks he's going to be in good shape after taking wide receiver with numbers 1 and 2. I mean, do you ever want to move back from the 103 in a shallow format like this for the what? Unless you could use them, unless you could use those to like really add value to your team by tacking on the 108 to Saquon, that can get you a lot. See what I'm getting at? Picks have to be worth a ton. Otherwise, I'm not moving back. Shane, this is supposed to be you, though.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm not doing it. Shop the 103 for, look, we talked about a little bit. We were talking about this in the Heisman chat yesterday, or I think in the voice chat, or it was in one of the Destination Devi patron chats. Go join our sign Discord, up.
Yeah,
but I can't keep track. They're all over the place. But like, what running backs that we think are actually elite, and that might have been this morning. I don't even remember. But like, if you're worried about a running back, maybe go get the 103 and see if you can get Gibbs, Bryce, or Bijan. Maybe the folks in your league think like us, even though it's a shallow league, we would buy a running back in a league like this. But I'm not trading that pick back for the 108 and 110 and a start 8. Meh.
No. Okay, so Scott, this has got you written all over it. This was a hammer we got as well. Thank you very much. Wanting to start a best ball dynasty league this offseason. What are the best settings and setups for a best ball dynasty league? Any lessons learned from previous season regarding best ball leagues? Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I would say you want to have more starters and you want to have bigger rosters because it is best ball. It's more fun that way. You do want to probably, I mean, if you're doing it on Sleeper, there's only so many things you can do with the scoring and the settings and whatnot. And it doesn't allow you to do taxi or injured reserve or anything like that in best ball. So it's pretty much, you just have to decide how many starters. I'm always a proponent. In best ball, I lean more towards the 40% or more starters versus roster spots. So if you're at 12 starters, 30 roster spots. If you're at 13, do 32, 33. Keep that ratio. I would say if you have access to the war tool, destinationdevy.com, play with it before you announce the league to everybody and try to find something where the scoring is pretty even for each position and then the war lines are pretty flat. Like, look at one of those. I have a couple that I'll share if anybody wants to DM me, or if you're in the Discord, message me there. But I have a couple that I've been really happy with the way they got set up.
Like dialing them in terms of like this is how you like the war to look like.
Well, you get into I'll just preface this to you guys. You get into a start 13 best ball, and it's 2 PPR for tight ends. It's like 0.2 point per carry for running backs. The quarterback scoring is dangerous enough to where you have to have them, but it's not so much that if you don't have them, you get screwed. But you kind of look at everything in a start 13, and what are you trying to do? You're just trying to just accumulate talent. There's no obvious bias. You don't, in best ball, you don't want to create an obvious bias where everyone can just exploit it.
Right.
So if you can find those settings, I don't think you overthink it after that. I think you just roll with it. Tell people, hey, it's a deep league, deep rosters. It's fun. I love best ball for that reason, because you have to grind week to week. You need to make sure you have as many active players as possible. And the deeper the rosters, the deeper the starters, the better.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a Dynasty Best Ball listener league in the Discord very soon. So looking forward to that. I think I've got 3 Dynasty Best Ball teams, but I'm not spending enough time on them. So that's going to change in 2024.
I have one. I made a trade today, and it was not a good trade. I knew it was not a good trade.
Shane forgot it was best ball till afterwards.
Nope. 100% knew it was
You
best
gave
ball.
up a 5 for 1.
I knew this was. I look at it and I go, "Oh, this is not a good idea. This is best ball. This trade makes absolutely no sense." Except,
what was the trade? Let's laugh at you.
I guarantee Shane gave up more pieces than he.
Oh, I gave up 2 for 1, and the 2 I gave up is far. It probably is equal in a lineup league. It's probably more in a lineup league, actually. On that side. So I don't
do you wish you hadn't brought it up? Is that why you're not even telling us what?
No, I don't care. It was a terrible. It was just a terrible trade.
Yeah,
it was awful.
That shouldn't be an analyst trade. Got it. Okay, let's go to Casey. Thank you very much for the hammers. We have a 12-team Superflex PPR tight end premium start 10. Jordan Love, Watson at quarterback, Roshan, Izzy, Kendre, and Shitters at running back. London, Rice, and more shitters. Pat Fryermuth, Cole Kmet. And then at picks 101, 103, 106, 7, 12. And then he's got 3 seconds as well, a couple 25 first. Any thoughts? Got too much value for guys like, got too much value for guys like JT, Pickens, Pickett, etc. Decided to tear it down. This looking like a good class. Am I in trouble? How do I build a monster? So going back to his team here, and it's a 12-team Superflex start 10.
Well, I'll start at the bottom. How do you build a monster? It's one of those things where you have to continue to build value and then continue to find spots where there's leverage and then continue to kind of go against the grain when you think you're going to be able to contend. A lot of my good teams or my great teams, I really just will take any value trade possible. Even if I'm in position to smash, I'll take the right value, even if it means trading away the best player. On a team where you go, I don't know why I would trade away the best player. It's really about building opportunities in the future. He's got a ton of draft picks.
Yep.
Or she, not sure. Casey can be either one. But really, if you look at the team, what in that roster can you say I cannot part with? Maybe 3 pieces besides the draft picks. I mean, I'm looking at every running back can go.
No,
every one of those running backs can go.
Every player.
The receivers are good, not great, and you don't have a lot of them. Jordan Love is your best quarterback, which, I mean, fine. But, like, you can look at this team and go, basically, I'm flexible at every single spot. What can I get for Jordan Love? Can I bet against Jordan Love and split him into 2 pieces? Can I get Trevor Lawrence in a second? Like, little deals like that where you're kind of keeping the semblance of a roster. I don't want to gut my entire team to where I just have – I mean, we've all seen those rosters where, hey, I don't have any players, but I have 25 draft picks over the next 2 classes.
Yeah.
You know, that's tough to work with, but you're going to have to take some shots this year too. I mean, you're going to have to take a shot probably at the 112, 201, 205, 207, and just hope you can flip those guys for better value picks going forward, shy of being able to move those picks for future first, which I'm guessing you're not going to be able to. So you just got to play the value game. Every one of those draft slots, when I'm on the clock, what can I get? Every player is available to split. You know, everything's open.
Steven, thank you for your super chat. It is a 12-team super flex, start 10 PPR. Lamar, Love at quarterback. We have CMC, Pollard, Aaron Jones. And then at wide receiver, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Addison, Nico Collins, Reed, and JSN. Ferguson at tight end. And then 107, 108 in terms of picks. Do I need to try to move up in the draft? And he says, for example, 108 and JSN for 103. What do you think, guys?
I just think every time I see Ferg, all I can think is my humps, my lovely lady humps. So I wish people would stop referring to that and use his proper name. It's Ferguson. In general, without even looking at the rest of the team, would I give up the 108 and the JSN for the 103 in a super flex every day of this week, next week, any world in this universe by 1,000 Matt Moores, I would make this deal. He listed Lamar and Love. Same thing we talked about with that other team, right? Just the flexibility it gives. Then maybe I look to see what can I get for Love? What can I get for Lamar? Can I get a monster wide receiver? Maybe I just draft a quarterback at 103. And if not, all right, then I'll go Neighbors. Maybe not. Maybe I'll add that to something else. Maybe I'll add that to Waddle and see if we can get another ARSB on our team, something like that. So yes, I'll make the deal.
So, Clay, I want to ask Clay here because this looks just like the question we answered about 10 minutes ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got good depth at receiver, but you're probably also not excited to draft a QB at that 103 either, right? So do you just give up JSN in the 108 just to say I'm drafting Malik Neighbors?
I don't. I'm sending out so many more offers before doing a move like this. And it's separating them apart. Like maybe I can keep JSN and I'm just tacking that 108 onto something or moving that back for a 25 first plus something. That would be one of the last moves I would make is what I'm looking at here. Just because I don't feel like I need the 103.
So here,
if I get Neighbors versus JSN and the 108, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We hope Neighbors is going to be legit. He will be.
Let me say this. When someone, a subscriber, a viewer, a listener, whatever.
Someone on YouTube.
Someone on YouTube. When they put a question to us like this, I assume that they've already done the legwork and couldn't make another deal. And that they're like, especially they're paying $10. They're like, look, I need to know, do I make this deal? You need to tell me. And I say, yes, you make the deal because of the flexibility it gives you and all the other things you could do. Because the good thing about this is we still have got 3 months to the draft, not 4 months like Scott thought in last night's stream when we were recording on Sunday. But we've got 3 months till the draft. I still make the deal. I understand you're not that enamored with Malik Neighbors. It might not even be Malik Neighbors by the time the draft comes around. It might be Roman Dunze who gets drafted at 3 overall to New England. Is it New England? I think it's New England. Sorry.
All right. Well, I guess you agree, Scott. You'd be trying to do other things first, but I hear you, Shane. You just assume all the right efforts were exhausted first.
Now, if you didn't put out the correct efforts and plaster your league and think about every combination you could have made, well, then that's on you.
Yeah. What's up, Josh? Okay, let's go to this one right here. Inbox offer from Gump. 12-team Superflex, 5 point per passing touchdown, 0.25 per QB first down, 0.2 point per carry. So every rush attempt is 0.2. The trade is trade Justin Fields, the 205, a 25 second for Jordan Love and a 25 fourth.
Well,
Pass.
shout out to Gump. Also, Paul goes by Paul. He's one of the co-hosts of our college football pod on DD. So shout out to Gump. Gump, you forgot to add one key thing in here, though, the number of starters. To me, that kind of depends on how I value those seconds.
Let's say it's got a point per carry and all, so that's never like a start 9. So let's say start 11. Let's assume this is start 11.
You start 9, I think we'd be fine doing this if you're getting the better quarterback, but start 11, I mean, you never know what you can do with those 2 seconds. Guess it depends on how much you want out on Justin Fields. A lot of people they could tier off of Justin Fields for what they think is a more stable QB that's probably going to get a contract and all that jazz. Then it's a pretty cheap price to tier up, isn't it? To get out of the volatility of Fields and get a more secure guy, even if you don't love like that. Love. You could get Love, move him for Burrow, or you can move him for Herbert or Lawrence. Like there's more options with Love that you can get to versus Fields, I think. So if it's just to do something like that, I could do it. But I mean, dude, point per first down, point per carry. I could see where Fields.
I want Fields.
Fields could be, if he lasts, could far exceed almost everybody else in the league, scoring wise. So I can see why someone would want the other side, right? If it's a start 11 or start 12, they're getting 2 seconds. They can probably buy points with those seconds, and they may get the better quarterback, at least in the short term. What do you think, Shane? You like Fields now. You are so up and down on Fields for the last 6 months, but would you take him on this trade, assuming this is a start 11?
He's on mute. He was saying something epic too.
Oh, epic. So this feels like something that we've been discussing an absolute shit ton lately. Safety, right? It's feeling safe. It feels like this trade's I don't feel safe with Justin Fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some second rounders for the safety, the mediocrity of Jordan Love. And I don't mean that in the sense that Jordan Love is bad. I mean that he's got a capped ceiling, I believe. Whereas Justin Fields' ceiling is absolutely bananas. It's what's that guy's name? Jalen Hurts last year. It's Lamar Jackson 3 years ago. Sure, maybe that's right. Jordan Love ain't hitting them heights. But I understand the fear is well, I could get nothing. But you know what? I'm all about risk. Never mind. Won't bring that up. All about risk. So I'm going to say I'll make get Fields.
In all aspects of life.
Yeah. Plan B, baby.
Plan B, baby. Oh man, that's a great it's a great team name probably for a dynasty.
I got to tell you, if they ever reach out to us, I would definitely 100% what's the word? I would be a 1000% I like this product. I've been involved with this product in the past, and I think it's a great product.
Got it.
Sorry.
Okay, let's go to another one here from CC. Thank you for your super chat. Don't recognize this avatar or the name necessarily. It looks like a cat of sorts. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for the super chat. 10-team Superflex, start 9 PPR. At QB, we have Mahomes and Cousins. Running backs, James Cook. I almost said Jared Cook. James Cook, Tajay Spears, Monty Gus Bus. At wide receiver, Puka, Rashi Rice, Mike Evans, and Wicks. And then at tight ends, Hawkinson, and Njoku, and Kraft. He's got the 107, 205, 207, 209, 306, and 8. And a couple 25 first. Finished second. Thoughts on any moves? What do you think here, Scott?
I mean, this is a weird analogy. I'd look back at my childhood and every Friday, my mom would take the leftovers from everything we ate the rest of the week and just put it all on a tray and heat it up. And that's what this roster is. It's it feels like it's all over the place. I can see why it's got a chance. But I'm also looking at it and going, what is the direction with this team? It's got a couple good players. It's got some players where he lists them. I wouldn't be listing Mike Williams as an asset in a 10-team start 9.
Start 9, yeah.
So picks they are what they are. I think you have enough. Any team that I have Mahomes on and I have a couple other good players, I'm hardly ever just going to say I'm going to punt it, especially in a start 10 or 10-team start 9 where outcomes can sway weekly, with a lot of variance. Guess it just depends
So
on what you can
you
do with
buy a
those
hammer.
picks.
Can you buy
Yeah.
a hammer? The 107 and one of those 25 firsts. Do you want to go ahead and see if you can get Bryce Hall in this team?
He's got 3 firsts. He's
Start at
got
the top.
other pieces to throw around. Guys like Monty, Mike Evans, Hawkinson. I have no use for Hawkinson when he's injured, and I have Njoku already. Like, that's another piece where you may be able to take 60 cents on the dollar if it gets you a hammer in another deal. So I think that's where you got to be looking. It's a shallow league. Like, you can't rebuild this team because it's really hard to rebuild in a shallow league too, because you're going, I need studs. Guys like, I don't know, Mahomes, Puka. You know what I mean? You already have a couple of them. So I think you just got to keep going for it and see what you can consolidate.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go to Dylan Monroe. Thank you for your super chat. It is a 12-team PPR Superflex start 12. Good for you. Start 2 tight ends. It's a 0.5 tight end premium. So we're assuming 1.5 for tight ends, 6 point per passing touchdown, 0.1. I think he means PPC. And then there's some first down bonuses, things like that. Moved the 204 and 608 for the 301, 501, and a 26 second. An inbox trade is give the startup 109 and a 25 third for the startup 205, 808, and a 25 first.
Oh, we're smashing that second deal, right? Easy.
Inbox trade, hit accept. If you're just to confirm, you're getting the 205, the 808, and a 25 first.
Moving down
smash
8.
That.
Yeah. You're moving down 8, picking up a first in the process, and picking up an extra startup pick. Yeah. And then I'm going to try to see what I can do with that startup pick to either move up, trade it for another first. Yeah, so many things you could do with that.
So Shane, I'm curious because we just did our second part of Mannequin Chill, which is starting to be released to everybody. Are you moving out of that 204 for the 301 if you're only getting a 5 and a 6 bump? Is that enough, or is it very specific as to what players are there? Because it feels like if he hasn't traded the 109, he did that first deal with not knowing what's on the board, right?
Yeah.
Like that deal was done. I guess I'm just looking at that. If you saw that come in your inbox before the draft even started, is that what you're looking to do with your 204? Just get the 3, the 5, and the second? Is that enough? Because that's like an obscure trade, but I can see where if it's a tier break, not between 204 and 301, it's a good deal. He got a free second. He moved up almost 2 rounds from the 5th to the 6th, or the 6th to the 5th. What do you think on that? Are you just smashing that, or is just not what you want to do with your second round startup pick?
I mean, probably the second round startup pick, the 204. I don't think I'd move back to 301, 501, 2026 second. Just like having just done that mock, the difference between 204 and 301. I mean, it's a quarterback in the same range. It's a quarterback we were just talking about. So,
I mean, it might be a Kyler, a Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and then you're not getting them in the third. So if that's your choice, you may miss out and be stuck in that like QB purgatory. And now he's moving his first as well. So you're kind of picking the road of your maybe punting quarterback here to start.
Which, you know what? Maybe that's okay. And that's how your build's going to go. And looking at the QBs that are there, even if you don't go QB, so you don't go QB in the second or the third round when you make your pick, you're even pushing it more because you're like, I'm not going to panic here and just take a quarterback because I need one. Fuck it. I went ahead and committed to this, so I'm going to commit to this. This ain't a marriage. Like, I need to stick with this, and I'm going to draft Jahmyr Gibbs in the third round, something crazy off the wall like that. I think.
And then you know what he should do? Take that 205 and try to get the same deal and just move it back again. Try to get another 25 first and move to like the 4th and just keep pushing it.
Yeah, and I love how he's getting an extra piece every time he's doing that. And sorry if you just said that, but that first trade he got an extra piece. Second trade he's getting an extra piece. Apparently the other league or the rest of the league doesn't know that they're not supposed to do that. So
Clay, real quick, instead of that 608, if that was like a 905 and a first, would you prefer that than the 608 and the second?
I'd have to look back honestly at our recent startup here and see what the difference is between the 6th and the 9th. But I guess the correct answer is take a first, right? Is that the right process there?
I'm just trying to wade through. If I have that 204 and I'm playing this trade back strategy, that is like one of the 3 picks that I almost need to turn into a first in some capacity.
True,
And if
true.
all I get is a second, now I'm far enough back at the 501 where it's like I probably can't get a first added unless I'm just taking a 10th or something like that. So just think about that before you do it right off the rip. So,
yep, sounds good. Okay, let's go back to a hammer here. We had this. Oh, I got to get rid of that one. Let's go to this first one up here. Oh, this is from Paul Rudd. Thank you very much for the hammers. Or this was a missed super chat when it was acting funky the other day. So, in a family dynasty, some, like my wife, want to get deeper into strategy but don't want to put in hours of work. They/she isn't wanting to watch hour-long videos, subscribe to articles, etc. What resources do you think are wise to suggest for minimum effort dynasty players you want to help, not take advantage of? What do you think here, Shane? This is you. Go for it. Family dynasty, Shane.
I got to be honest. I can't wrap my head around it because I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, think about how much time we commit to dynasty football. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's.
Wait, so you can't imagine somebody
can't imagine
do what we do?
Like, who would you go to? I don't that like because like if let's just say like I said RotoViz, go read RotoViz, right? Just digging into that, reading it, looking at the tools, I'd be like, oh, I want to know more about this, and I would naturally go find out more. You know what I mean? If I say go to DLF, I'd be like, this is interesting. I want to put in more work here. What else can I find? Like, kind of like how I did. So I don't know. I have no idea. I guess TikTok. There's TikTok. Is there Dynasty Football on TikTok besides us?
There's some. We're all
well. Don't they suck? Check out our TikToks or our YouTube shorts. We got excellent YouTube shorts. Your attention span needs to be like what? 2 minutes? 4 minutes? I don't know. I've never watched
it has to be under 60 seconds. Most of ours are like 30, 35
There you
seconds.
go. 30 seconds. Just tell her to watch all of our shorts in a row. Make sure she likes them. That'll help her.
So you don't watch our shorts either? I know you don't watch our regular videos. You don't watch the shorts?
I can't watch.
He watches the 2 minute ones.
Unbelievable.
I don't watch anything. I didn't even know that they were 60 seconds until right now.
Let me ask you this, Clay. How often does a expert win in Dynasty? An expert. Let's just assume we really can validate you're an expert. What's the percentage that you win, would you say?
What do you think?
You're in 20 leagues. How many do you win?
I mean, you probably win, 10% of the time, if you're lucky?
An expert. I'm talking an expert here. The best in the business. What would you say the percentage is? Like 15%? 7 out of 20, maybe? Something like that? 6 out of 20?
Yeah. With natural variance.
Max, yeah.
Good.
Okay. Let's say 30%. Now, what does Malcolm Gladwell say? 10,000 hours to become an expert. So the difference between you just being a novice and the best, and I'm not even calling ourselves experts. I don't even think I've put in 10,000 hours in Dynasty. It's close. But like just to win 30%, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you need to look at it like you're much closer to the best people in your league than you think by knowing nothing.
Yeah.
Hence people win stuff all the time. I mean, if you ever been in a March Madness bracket with somebody that wins and they go, I don't even know who's playing.
Not
things like, I mean, so yeah, I would just consume content that's fun, shorts, TikToks.
Yeah, that was a good call. That was a good call. Short form content.
Our shorts, our TikToks. I don't. You can check out Destination Debbie Wake Up in the morning. She can listen to it on her drive. She could join our Patreon and listen to our drive to work as well.
Listen to Shane in traffic.
Listen to me in traffic yelling at people, saying, "Make the goddamn turn! Make the turn!"
On. Oh, you would. All right, let's keep going here. So let's go to a super chat from Mike Almond. Thank you, sir. He says, "Hey gents, 12-team Superflex start 9 PPR. Send Diggs and a 25 first for the 103. Pay to brag here. QBs Allen, Burrow at running back, Kyron, Bijan, JT, Andrews at tight end, and then wide receiver Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Higgins." Okay, so what do you think here? You sending Diggs and a 25 first for the 103? I mean, is it his 25 first? If so, yeah, I'm all about it. I do it. He does have Allen. He's giving up the stack, but whatever. I'm doing that all day, right?
I'm still assuming that is his own first, that he's choosing to to take the shot on this elite asset. This is one of those consolidation deals where could burn you, but if you're somewhat right about the pick, what's the worst it could be? 107, 108. If you looks like a playoff team he has, right? You would think with Allen, Burrow,
sure.
those good enough to make the playoffs. So yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah, good stuff.
You know, Shane is. He's taking every other deal that has the 103. That's just an auto accept.
I give this gives me a little more pause. I still think Diggs is going to come back next year and be an absolute monster.
Shane, that's the easiest of the 103 deals.
That's been an easy one, Shane.
Well, whatever. Maybe I like old people.
I think you're just trying to be contrarian. You don't really know what the hell we're talking about.
It's start 9. Yeah, I'm taking the deal. Come on.
Oh, we love you, Shane. Okay. Let's go to this will be for Shane. Chester boats. This sounds like it's right up your alley.
This is a 3% trade. Oh man, Shane,
are you ready for a menage?
I've already stopped paying attention. All right,
Paul Rudd. There's gonna be a TikTok here, so tell your wife that this is gonna be a valuable resource. Shane, it's a 3-man trade, PPR Superflex, start 9, 0.76 tight end premium. Team 1, Kyler 302 and a mid 25 first. Team 2, a 101 and a 25 third. And Team 3, Joe Burrow and Aaron Jones. Which side are you taking here? Team 1, 2, or 3, Shane?
So Team 1 got Kyler, the 302. Why did we just do the 302? Can we put these in order of importance, please? Kyler, 25 first and a 302. Team 2 got the 101 and a 25 third. Team 3, Joe Burrow and Aaron Jones. Not Team 3.
Not that one.
That's a fine package.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I would. I'm going to go with. I think I'm going with Kyler in the mid 25 first. I think I am.
Does start 9 matter to you, Shane? Does that mid first become less appealing unless you can flip it for something better?
I mean, it is, but I'm going to just guess this is a type of league that has lots of trades because they put off a threesome, and not many people can do that.
And it's a 0.76 tight end premium.
I don't even know what that means. So
must be a Philly league.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 76ers league.
It might be.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kyler in the mid 25 first. That's what I'm going to go.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Flowosaurus has a comment in there. Anyone not saying Kyler is pick locked? Yeah, man. I'll tell you right now, that 101, the draw of it is strong. It's very strong. So but yeah, I'll go Kyler.
I mean, what pick would you need to trade back to get a 25 first if you had the 101? Would you do the 104? 104 and a mid 25 first for 101 without knowing any needs or anything. Do you just take that based on value?
And it's a 12-team super flex. Start 9 in this case? Start
9, start 10, pretty much the same.
You should. Yes, you should.
And then Kyler's kind of around that 103, 104 range. Like that.
Yep.
There's the deal. I can see where both sides will do it in a start 9. If the guy has 3 QBs, that's his easiest path to get a stud receiver.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go here to T-Law Shampoo. Thank you for the super chat. 12-team start 10 PPR. Kyler, Anthony Richardson, Fields, Ramondre, Cans, JJ Chase, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, DJ Moore, Debo. At picks, we have 102, a 25, and 26 first that aren't his. Send Fields, DJ Moore, and a 25 first for Ceedee. And then he says, I think it's maybe a board trade for a pretty lineup. If not, what moves?
Yeah, I mean,
can I even read? That's gonna be funny going back and listening. Stay put.
I like CeeDee Lamb a lot, but good lord, sir. That's too
you already
much.
have the best team in the league with what you have. I'm not overpaying for a. It's going to be great to say you have JJ Chase, Amon-Ra, and CeeDee Lamb. You're able to probably brag over everybody that's ever watched this stream. You're giving up a lot of value just to say you have that. And DJ Moore was wide receiver 7. It's not like he was awful. Like he's still a wide receiver 1, and his situation could get even better. So I think you're giving up too much. I'd rather sell these pieces individually for value versus just for the name CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. No, it's definitely on board. Let's go ahead and just add more fun pieces to my league, so I can just put get a T-shirt of like Ceedee, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Jefferson, and be like, "Look at me."
That's heavy by like a 25 first. Like
Right.
that's very heavy.
Yes, super heavy.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one here from Cameron Spaceman. Thank you very much. 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 8, keep 10. Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, Olave, Waddle, Pitts, Bijan, Purdy, Watson, Trevor. At Pickwise 109. Finish 4th. Need help to get a first. Thought I'd win. Shane, what are you doing here? Or go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say 2 things. Very easy on this. You could upgrade at QB. You have good QBs, but you have ones that none of them may be top 8. So in a 12-team, 1 QB, you probably want to get some positional advantage there. Tight end, tight end is what it is. Pitts could be great. Pitts could bust. But really what he's asking is, how do I escape the variance of a roster that's already very good? And it's, I hate to say it this way, but the answer is pick the right players that do the best. But he doesn't have a talent issue or an asset poor issue. It is just, it's a start 8. He can only keep 10. I guess that's a caveat to it, but he's got how many players listed there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. And then the draft pick, I assume, doesn't count.
I just want to throw so much and try to get Josh Allen on this team.
Sure.
Just, you've got Watson and Trevor. I'm just trying to look at weaknesses and Purdy. Like, how can you get up and get Josh Allen? And
if you get Allen, go get Kincaid instead of Pitts. Like, you shoot for the stack in a shallow league, right? You're boom or bust with those 2 if it happens. But there's not a lot else you can improve on, really. Maybe you can get I don't know who his other running back is. If it's a can, then maybe running back. But it feels like a team where it's just, how do I win? It's a start 8. Get lucky at the right time, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have something to say, Shane? No? Good? Okay.
Variance happens. What are you going to do? It's what I'm thinking when I look at that team. I'm like, that's a stacked team. Shit happens sometimes. Yes, you can upgrade at quarterback. Fine. Go do that.
Yep. Okay, let's go to the roll. Thank you for the hammers. It's an 8-team Superflex PPR tight end premium start 12 with T-Law and A-Rich already starting. I traded Love and Brian Robinson for K9 and Bryce Young. Thoughts? He says, I didn't like the idea of Love on my bench and Walker's in my lineup. Plus, I figure Bryce Young is plenty depth at QB. Also, what are you thinking? All right, then he lists his starting lineup. But let's go to this first. So he traded Jordan Love and Brian Robinson for Ken Walker and Bryce Young. What do you think? Shane?
I feel like Jordan Love should get me more. But, it's an 8-team Superflex. Start 12. Scott, real quick. What's 12 times 6? It's 100 and
12 times 6? You're going into the hundreds.
It's also the wrong number. What's 12 times 8?
It's 96.
96. And 96 starters. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't feel like that trade does anything, to be honest with you. I feel like it just kicks me sideways at best.
It's a trade where if you can get the better skill player. Now, the thing is it guaranteed that Kenneth Walker is better than Brian Robinson? In name value, yes.
Right.
But if you can get an upgraded skill player in an 8-team Superflex, I don't care about the QB that I'm trading away. So that's the thing. But you're still betting that Kenneth Walker is just far better than Brian Robinson. That's not a guarantee either. Yeah, so it's fine. But you're right. It probably doesn't. I could see where the other side ends up winning the trade, and it's like, yeah, it's a 2 for 2. I whiffed.
So I have a story from when I was little, because you talked about when you were little. So might not have been the brightest kid, but I used to think that Mr. Rogers, when he would come in, put on a sweater and take off his shoes, I thought he was just putting his shoe on the other foot, like literally just taking the left one and putting it on the right and the right on the left. That's literally what this is. It's just I'm moving things around for the sake of moving them. But that wasn't true. Mr. Rogers wasn't doing that.
Did you do that and then try to walk? Didn't realize it felt weird?
No, I always wondered why he was doing that, though. Like, I was curious as to why is Mr. Rogers just putting his shoes on the other foot? Like, that makes no sense. Does he have ambidextrous shoes? Are his feet by? I don't understand. But anyway.
There's Shane. He was always very curious. Okay. Good stuff there. All right. This one is let's guess who this one's from. And thanks again, Paul, for the for the supers last time that the system didn't want to save. So 8 manager super flex start 10. It's 1 quarterback, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, tight end, 3 flexes in the super flex, 4 point per passing touchdown. I acquired Hurts. My wife has Josh Allen and she wants to trade. I could get him 1 for 1, but I don't want to take advantage of my wife like that. Worth the trade up, and how much would you offer knowing it would get accepted? I also have T-Law and Anthony Richardson.
I mean, it's not crazy to move Jalen Hurts for Josh Allen if that's who your wife wants. Give it to her. You know what I mean? Like maybe you add something small just to make her feel better. You can probably turn that into a short as well. But I don't see a problem with the trade. I mean, he knows he's getting the better quarterback, but what's the big deal to add a little bit with the player that you want?
Look,
give her a second.
If your wife is really into getting it and it's small, then yeah, make the deal. Definitely. That's what Scott just said.
And it's Hurts.
Yeah.
That's
and
what she wants.
It hurts.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I mean, no, he asked the question. He doesn't want to trade with his wife because he knows he's getting the better quarterback, but she literally wants Jalen Hurts.
We're awful. Is what
Make the deal. Make the deal. Make the deal.
Yeah, definitely. We have not addressed the crowd. We're 51 minutes deep, 300 and less people now after that conversation. No, thank you so much for joining. Hit that like if you'd be so kind. The easiest way to help out the channel. Let's go to a hammer from Shane. Thank you, Shane, for the hammer. 10-team, 2QB, PPR, 1.5 tight end premium, start 10, rebuilding. Burrow, Goff, trash. Running backs, JJ, Higgins, Hollywood, Downs, Laporta at tight end. 103, 109, 225 first, 226 first. And then the trade is Higgins for Nico and Jalen Warren. Well, you take Nico over Higgins, right?
Yeah, I think we did
this one last week.
Yeah, we did this one last week, and it was still I would take Nico over Higgins.
Still the same answer.
Me a free Jalen Warren. Nothing's changed.
All right.
Scott, you weren't here. What do you think? Yes.
Yeah, because Jalen Warren's a stud. So give me Jalen Warren on top of a receiver that I would take over the other one. Yeah, that's a very easy deal.
All right, rock and roll. People are like, oh man, Scott just said Jalen Warren's a stud. Everybody's getting all hot and bothered. They're going to start sending out offers. Okay.
We didn't throw this one in there. We might as well throw this comment in here just to tie together all the wife talk. Let me find it. The comment about the all gas hat. I'll find it in a second. Continue. Ask one more.
Okay. Got it. So let's go to the roll here. Did I already say this one? Yes, I already did. Good, because that means I can get rid of 3.
There it is. Jalen Hurts and an all gas hat for Josh Allen. That's the deal.
There you go.
There you go. Nice. Awesome. All right. So let's go to this one right here. We got 3 hammers from Powers. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So 12-team, 1 QB, half PPR, no tight end premium, start 8. Quarterbacks are Herbert and Cousins. Yeah. Running back, Bryce Hall and Javonte Williams. Wide receivers, Puka, Nico, JSN. Tight ends, Pitts. Picks 102, 104, 105, 204, 206. Got 325 first. Started a rebuild in 23. Running backs and studs are worth 2x in this league. Example, traded Taylor for 23, 24, and 25 first. So 3 firsts for JT. Do I just sit back for now? Thanks. Love what you all are doing. Appreciate it, man. 1 QB, 12-team start 8. Half PPR.
Well, I mean, if studs are worth that, can you move the 104, 105, and one of those 25 firsts for a player just as good or better than Jonathan Taylor? Can you get a hammer or a stud?
Well, picks are probably undervalued, right?
Yeah,
just considering.
Well, but he just said you can get 3 random firsts for a stud. These are higher, right? They're not the 109, 110. They're 104, 105. Now, here's the thing, start 1 QB league. How much do you value the 105, the 104, the random 25 first?
Do you just give up the 104 and the 105 for the 101? No question. You take Harrison and Neighbors.
Yeah.
That's just
Yes.
immediately.
In a 1 QB start 8, I mean, you're flipping coins at 104 and 105. Whereas you have the one. Think about in a league where you have the 101 and 102 in this format. Clay, I come to you and say, you already have Neighbors and Harrison locked up. What needs to be included for you to trade them?
One of
An elite player somewhere,
a
right?
Chase, a Jefferson, something like that, right?
Yeah. So if you're going to go the other way, then just do the deal, 100%.
Yeah, he's got some good assets there. He's right there. Okay, thank you for those hammers. It sounds so funny to say that. So yeah, we have supers on right now. It's 9:30. It's going to get a little squirrely because I still have some hammers in the hopper, and we had some come in online. We would prefer
rapid fire it. Let's go.
Yeah, we would prefer the buymeacoffee.com/trades in 5 because the rake is like a fifth of YouTube's rake. Just saying, love YouTube, but buymeacoffee.com/trades in 5. Try to keep it brief if you could, because I have to copy and paste. Okay, let's go to Andre here. Bought us 2 hammers. Thank you very much. Here's a deep one. Shane, we'll start with you. 16 team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 10. Startup in my very first 16 teamer. Yeah, it's legit. Draft happens after the NFL draft, and I got the second spot. Allen or Mahomes are nice to have, but with the 3rd round reversal in 16 teams, I'm worried about my 2nd and 3rd pick being very late because that would be picks 33 and 47. Should he trade back? Which spot range should he target, and what should he offer? He said, cheers from Germany. Thanks, man.
Oh, well, hello. I don't know how to say cheers in German. So I'll just say cheers.
He said cheers.
Yeah, I assume it's the same. I speak German now. Cool. Would I trade back? Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit. Again, let's going to pitch the Destination Devi Discord. We're talking last night about startup picks and the range I want to be in. It's either 101, 102, 103, 104, or 110, 111, 112. It is basically where I'm looking at. So if you could trade back, sure, I'll trade back to like the 110, 111, 112. So yeah. What do I want back? I wouldn't mind another 2nd round pick. I mean, that's what we used to ask for in the old days. And I could give them a 5th back if they'd like. But I understand with how far apart the picks are going to be. I'm still fine if you want to just take Mahomes or Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a safe route is okay. And Mahomes and Allen are one of those times.
I'll just add something real quick. One thing people do not consider is in a 16 teamer, you're going to feel a little squirrely about your 2nd and 3rd round pick, like he said. What's also going to happen though? Because it's a 16 teamer, probably before you pick there, 16 QBs, you're going to see the Tuas, all those are going to go because people are worried they don't have a quarterback. So you're actually going to get better value because of the 16 teamer. If you trade back to the 112 and it goes 10 QBs, now you're the one that has to pick the reach at QB. You know what I mean? So I actually would gamble and still be willing to take, maybe not 101. I'd be willing to go 103, 104, wherever the tier break is. But just remember, it's not going to be like a 12 teamer where someone goes, oh, I don't need 2. I'll just take my wide receiver 3. No, they may have to take them because their next pick isn't for 28 more picks, and then they don't have an option to get a quarterback. So consider
again, you could, in trading back also, with 16 teams, you could embrace a different build and just acknowledge that, you know what, quarterbacks are probably going to be weak. That would have been weak for me if I stayed there anyway, except for the one quarterback. Maybe I build in another way.
Okay, let's see. Flowosaurus says 16 teamers and you are late. Productive struggle time.
And the theory is you kind of try to tank and then you're at the 101 or 102 next year and you get the automatic like top 12 QB or better instead of, do you really want to chase the Mahomes team with your QB1 being Jared Goff? You know, like that's where it feels like you're already set up to lose and you don't have the benefit of the high picks the next year.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Nathan Robarget. Thank you very much for the 5 hammers. Appreciate that. $25. McCarthy and Nix have been mocking at the end of the first. When to go for a QB horde? It's a 12-team Superflex, start 11, 2 PPR for tight ends. He's got Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Danny Dimes, Bryce, and backups. Keaton and Dobbins and backups. Rice, Dell, Downs, and then he's got Andrews and Kraft at tight end. In 2024, he's got the 101, 106, 10, and 11. He's got 4 seconds and a bunch of thirds. Traded Lamar for A-Rich, Dimes, Dobbins, Kraft before the playoffs. Much love. So what do you think? Appreciate that, Ben. What do you think about that trade at the end, though? They traded Lamar for all of those pieces. I know it's a start 11, but is that a bunch of stuff?
It's a lot of stuff. I don't particularly care about Dobbins, Kraft, whatever. I love A-Rich. I know that. I mean,
well, whatever. It's fine.
Dimes is a starting quarterback, but you know.
Yeah. So what do you think here, Scott? When to go for the QB horde? And he specifically mentioned McCarthy and Nix being mocked at the end of the first. Go ahead.
Well, I actually like the trade because you went from Lamar to Richardson, and you may not like Danny Dimes, but he's a quarterback. You may not like Tucker Kraft, but it's 2 PPR. Dobbins, you can miss me with Dobbins. He's got 2 severe injuries, so I'm good with that. But the other 2 pieces are not nothing. I disagree that Nix and McCarthy are going to be anywhere close when we actually get to rookie drafts, but I think his point is bigger. Like basically whatever quarterbacks get capital and or situations where you think they could play, do I want to take them? I'll just say this about QB hordes. You really have to know the QB market in your league. Hoarding QBs that nobody wants ends up just burning you. I'm okay hoarding QBs if your plan is, all right, I have CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. I'm going to draft JJ McCarthy and have Danny Dimes and Bryce Young, and now it affords me the ability to trade one of the QBs somebody actually wants. Go try to trade Bryce Young. Is anyone going to really want him? How about JJ McCarthy when you blow the 110 on him? Is anyone going to go, oh my gosh, I have to have him? Same with Danny Dimes. Like it's going to be more like you're stuck with them. And you know how you beat a QB hoarder? You just wait them out. You wait until the only market that's going to stay robust is going to be the ones that are good or the ones that you already don't want to trade. So I would just say QB hoarding doesn't really work anymore unless it's a league where I'm in a 14-team 2 QB league. You can hoard there, but there's teams in that league that if they can't get the QB they want, if all you're offering is Daniel Jones, you know what they say? I'll just start a nobody and tank. Like they're not trading for the shitty ones. They would rather just punt a season. So unless your buy-in is so high that it's hard to punt a season, I just don't see the market for all these back-end starters. If anything, they're just going to expire on your team because people are going to wait you out.
Yeah, that's kind of a quirky spot about the 103 too, is if you already have quarterbacks and on, you're like, am I just going to draft one? But my league doesn't like quarterbacks. But I mean, you don't want to take neighbors at 103 ideally, right? So yeah, that's the key thing. I've got a few leagues where I cannot move my awesome quarterbacks. So they're just sitting on my roster. Okay. Let's go to Ethan's here. Thank you for the hammers. 12-team Superflex PPR 1.5 tight end premium start 10. Quarterback Burrow. Wide receivers Chase, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Wandale. Running backs Tank, Kendre, and Trash Cans. Tight end Laporta and Pitts. He has the 101, 106, 206, 7, and 10. And then 225 first and a couple seconds. Moves, tempted to try to move 106 plus for the 104/105 because I want neighbors need a QB at 101. And then he said, should I buy a hammer running back? What do you think, guys? Shane?
Well, there's 3-4 running backs that we said that we would buy for an elite pick like that. It's Gibbs, Bryce, Bijan, and maybe CMC, right? So if you can get one of those for the 106, sure, have at it. Why don't you see what you can get with the 106 and 201 in the existing market instead of just trying to trade up to the 4? I mean, don't limit yourself just to looking to trade for picks. Look at what players you might like to be able to get as well there. Like, could you trade the 106 to someone for, I know you have Tank Dell, but could you trade the 106 for something like Nico Collins plus? And then you even actually got another asset back plus a very, very usable wide receiver who was like the wide receiver 7 in points per game or whatever.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to this one here from Joe. Thank you very much for the hammer. All right. It is I didn't just read this. No. Okay. 10 team Superflex PPR 1.75 tight end premium start 11. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Running backs Chase Brown, Roshan, and Kane. Cans. Wide receivers QJ, Dobbs, Cooks, Dotson, Cans. Tight end Andrews and Ingram. I have no first this year, but I have the 202, 205, 207, 209. Let's see here. Gave up Debo and likely mid 25 first for what should be next year's 101. And I have 525 seconds and 326 firsts. What move should I make to effectively continue to rebuild? So he's got a rough team. No doubt about it. He's got a rough team. No first this year, but it looks like he might have the 101 next year. So there's a quarterback, but go ahead. Whoever wants to start.
I mean, he says he traded for the 101 next year, but I can't imagine there's a team actually worse than his in the league. So he should have the 101 and the 102. I mean, you don't like to see someone having can receivers, and they don't even list one.
That's not great. Yeah.
That's a tough spot to be in. So, and I know he said Kane receivers, but I think he meant can receivers, and then he listed the ones he had, and you're like, well, that is rough.
Dobbs.
Listen, if I have this team, it is rough. This is a long build. I'm just gutting this team. That nothing is off the table. Give me. The key is getting rid of almost everything, so I just ensure that I have the 101, the 201. All my assets are in the future because you have a couple players that are worth a little bit. Guys like Evan Ingram, like they have some value, but time is only going to. He doesn't have any players where I say there's a year of time doesn't have the potential to destroy any of his players. Like there's very few players in Dynasty where I go they can get injured. They can miss half the year. They can have a little bit of a down year, and they will be right back to where they are. That's like a dozen players or less. And you have none of those. So everything needs to go on this team. Shane, you agree? That just gut that whole thing?
Yeah.
Everything must go.
Dude, it's like when you burn the forest so new trees will grow. That's a thing, right? You just burn. It's a controlled burn and let it go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well said. Okay, let's move on to this one here from... Did I already do this? It's hard managing these hammers for me too. Okay, let's go to this one from Ramon Martinez. Shane, was there a question with this, or was it just a stray super chat? Well, thank you very much, Raymond or Ramon Martinez. Appreciate that. Here it is, right here. Here's the super chat.
Yeah, it's right there.
Give us that extra 5. I appreciate it. 10-team Superflex, start 11 PPR. I have the 101, 102, 103, 105, and 108. Traded Puka for AJ Brown and the 102. And then he lists off his team: Anthony Richardson, Bryce, David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Roshan, Pittman, Addison, Dotson. And then he said, should I trade the 108 and move down? So what do you think here? Let's first address that trade. Traded Puka for AJ Brown. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, traded Puka for AJ Brown and the 102.
And the 102.
Okay, go ahead. What do you think about that?
I'm just making sure that is a period.
I think he traded Puka for AJ Brown, and then the 102 A Rich, and yeah, I'm confused because there's not a second. There's not extra pieces to the second deal.
Yeah, traded.
There's a period.
Okay, wait, no. I think he traded Puka for AJ Brown. Then he traded the 102 and Anthony Richardson for Bryce, David Montgomery, Michael Pittman, and Jordan Addison. So don't love that trade.
You don't think that's his team that he's listing off right there? It's got to be the trade. If you
traded Puka for AJ Brown and the 102, go to that person and see what else they will trade you in life. Everything.
Yeah, seriously. Definitely. Like, hey, you want to trade wives, husbands, whichever you're into? I don't care,
Yeah. Okay. Let's get that one off.
Well, you didn't answer his question. Should he trade down from the 108? I think he needs to clarify actually what these deals are.
Yeah, I mean, because if he got AJ Brown in the 102 for Puka, then everything is no. You don't need to trade down.
Go back to that team and say, do you want to trade me the 105 for the 108?
Right.
Yeah. And sorry, I unstarred that. Raymond or Mr. Martinez, if you can just repost it if you're still in here, clarify it a bit, we'd appreciate that. I'll put it back up. Okay, and then Alex here says, stoked for my live roster review. You guys rock. Yeah, I saw the emails come in from Alex. We do roster reviews. Shane and Scott do a lot of them. You should get yours. We have 3 options. So we have the classic one, which is live with Shane and Scott, where you're in there. It's private. You guys can go through the team. What is this? I saw Clay's ball. What? I saw something funny here. You go through your team live with Shane and Scott, and we actually have a new partner to discuss as well. But it's kick-ass. I mean, it's an hour with them, essentially. We can also do a peer-to-peer roster review, and then we have the Heisman one that Uncle Rico did way back in the day, where we kind of pamper you. 4 seasons of roster reviews. But I jacked that one up pretty big time. But in the top right corner, you notice they're Dynasty Nerds. So Dynasty Nerds, we are announcing a new partnership with them, which is super exciting, awesome for the channel. They have a sick tool. I know Ray is big fans and friends with Dynasty Nerds as well. The Dynasty GM tool is something you should check out in terms of managing your leagues. We're fans of Dynasty Daddy as well. We still recommend them as a resource, but Dynasty Nerds have a kick-ass tool here. We're going to be using it for our roster reviews. Check it out. Consider joining. It's promo code TRADES5 will get you 15% off any of the membership levels. So more to come on that, but we're stoked. Congrats, Shane and Scott, for a Dynasty Nerds partnership. We've done something.
Stoked that someone wants to partner with us. Stoked that we get to use the tool for roster reviews. Also, you use promo code TRADES5 everywhere you go, and just see if it
just
works.
Try it
anywhere. Yeah, just to see, like, Geico, can I get anything off? Sure.
Yeah. So it's gonna be an awesome partnership. Raymond says yes, Puka, and got AJ and the 102. What? He sold Puka for AJ and the 102.
We hate that A-Rich trade, but go trade with that dude again.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't trade back at 108. Not right now.
Yeah. So anyway, the calls to action on the roster review, email rosterreview@dynastytradesand5.com, and we'll get back to you, or go to dynastytradesand5.com/roster review, and you can see those 3 options. All right, let's keep moving here. So we have a starred John inbox trade. He's got 2 of them, actually. 12-team Superflex PPR, 1.5 PPR for running backs, 2 for tight ends. 0.1 point per carry, start 10. Give the 109, 201, and 204. Get Jonathan Taylor and London. Okay, so that's one option. Or give the 109, 201, 204, and a 25 first, mid to late. Get Gibbs and London. Okay, so what do you think about those guys?
The 109 and get JT in London. I know the 109 and another first. Like, Gibbs and London are like your parents when you were a kid. They take you sneaker shopping, and you go to like Modell's, and then they'd be like, "Psych, we're really going to go to Payless." Like, I know that JT in London feels like Payless compared to the Gibbs side. I still like it better, I think, relative to the cost. JT will give you some percentage. Scott can disagree with me if you want. I like you're giving up.
You offer me first. Jonathan Taylor and a 25 first for Jahmyr Gibbs. You can have Jahmyr Gibbs.
But
that's basically the difference in the 2 trades, right? You're still getting Drake London. You're still giving away the same pieces. I'm taking the JT deal. That's an even better deal than the other one. Personally.
Yeah, so give the 109, 201, and 204, and you're getting JT in London. Yeah.
I will say, if you want Gibbs, I'm just saying you're paying a bigger price for the Gibbs trade. I see Shane's point. I would rather have Gibbs than JT.
Right.
No. If you put those together,
you completely missed my point, sir. My point was I want the JT and London side.
Oh, we're on the same page. I was just trying to compare the 2 prices. Yeah, give me the JT and London side.
No. Like we go to Payless. These sneakers, I know they're XJ900s, but they're kind of like Airs. Like, they're going to work just the same as the Nikes.
XJ900s. That's a thing?
That used to be.
I'll take your word for it. Okay, let's go to this one right here. Yeah, we have Ray. Destination Debbie says, nice hat, Scott. Shane and Clay, you're all is on the way. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll take it.
Is that dope, dude? It's a flat brim?
Yeah, it looks sick. And is that like the braided string kind of thing too there, Scott? You know what I'm talking about? Like shoelace kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a
Dope
nice
hat.
hat. I love hats.
I didn't.
When's my hat
Ray
coming?
didn't.
Yeah.
Ray didn't give it to me until the last day of the trip, but I would have worn it.
Yeah.
You know, I would have worn it on the field, doing all those interviews. The first day, I got a hell of a sunburn. You didn't realize that even though it's 55 degrees, that you still can get a sunburn. And
Oh yeah.
Mr. Baldhead here decided just to sit out there for like 8 hours and definitely paid for it.
Yeah, yeah. So no, there's some awesome footage from you and Ray and Jordan from the Senior Bowl. It's kick ass, man. Holy
Nah, man,
talent, Jordan, at his camera
Yeah.
work. I mean, good lord. Attaboy. Okay. So let's go to TaylorMade here. Thank you very much for your super chat. 10-team start 2 QB. Start 11 PPR, Herbert, Purdy at QB, Gibbs and T-Cans at running back, JJ, Devontae Smith, Keenan, Debo, Ridley, London, JSN and Godwin, McBride and Goddard at tight end. The trade is London for Evans, the champs 25 first, 0 picks in 24, all in 25, compete one more year, sell aging wide receiver next year. So are you selling London for Mike Evans and a late 25 first?
I mean, short-term production, you're probably
Start
pretty
11.
good on that. I mean,
Two
I do like
QB.
London. I think we have to hit a reboot button on London a little bit because the situation could be completely wide open. I guess my only concern here is now you have Keenan Allen, Debo Samuel, Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans. It does feel like you're really stacking every old receiver you can get. And that does appear to be a really late first. He says it's the champs first. So,
You know, I think.
what do you think, Shane? Would you do it? I mean, you like Mike Evans, but
No,
it feels like you're getting maybe 2 empty pieces here unless you win the title.
I think I'm going London. Like, just looking at the rest of the wide receiver room, it didn't even dawn on me that they're all old and probably like need an EKG. But they are all old. But more than that, they're all of this similar tier, right? And that's where Mike Evans is going to slot in. And I know Drake London had a not great year last year. I still think that the upside and the ceiling of what he could be is higher than what's on the board and what Mike Evans is.
Yep. Okay, sounds good. And I sorry for popping that off the screen there. Looks like we were all done now. Thank you for that super chat, TaylorMade. Let's go to Alex Crompton here. Scott, it's a 12-team start 9 super flex, half PPR, no tight end premium. I have Laporta and Andrews, and I want to move one of them. What's their pick value? The current champ, he's the current champ, congrats, and set to contend in 24. Thanks.
Well, it's not tight end premium, but we always talk about how you still have to value the positional advantage more than probably the league values each one. So I would say immediately the guy I'm trying to move is Laporta, and I'm just, what can I get for him? You send me a player, I'm willing to do a 1-for-1. I'm willing to do a pick. Like, I'm flexible, but Laporta is the one I'm probably trying to shop. In this format, you put Andrews out there, and it's probably, I'll give you the 112. 201. You know, it's probably worth taking the shot on Andrews as your tight end advantage and moving Laporta. But it probably has to be, what would you say, Shane? Aiyuk, Pittman, is that range enough for Laporta and a non-tight end premium? Yeah. Or do you want something even better?
Nah, I mean, it's not tight end premium. That's fine. That's fine. Definitely.
What pick value? Did you take the 105?
Yeah. Yes.
Because Bowers probably goes 106, 107. So, I mean, right there, you should be able to get something in that range, I would think.
Yep.
Okay. Let me move this one off the screen. Thank you very much. And I'm going to read out Dan's here, and then I'm going to have to move here in a second, but we'll figure that out. Okay, Dan, thank you for the super chat. 10-team start 9 super flex, 0.7 PPR, 1.75 for tight ends. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Bijan, Derrick Henry, Lamb, Aiyuk, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Devontae Smith, and then at tight end Kyle Pitts. Let's see, 2-4 and 2-6. Any recommendations or stand pat? Let's start.
He's got a Jalen and he's got a Wilson. I love those. Just not putting a space or a period or anything. Just throwing them in there, making it one word.
I should have read it as is.
I'd try to go the DeHenry and the DeSmith, but I don't know. Let's see. 10 teams start 9. I mean, the quarterback advantage is unmatched in this league, so I'm fine with that. I guess you try to consolidate, right, Shane? 204, 206. I mean, it's a 10-teamer, so that's still going to be probably 2 like top 50 players in the NFL draft. I just don't know what else you can get with them. 0.7 PPR. Is that real?
Yeah,
apparently
7.
Okay.
I mean, look, generally in the middle of the second.
Can I trade for 2 old running backs with those picks? Can I get like a James Conner, a Kamara mix? Can I get 2 guys like that? That's probably what I'd be looking. At least one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'd much rather go buy a couple elderly running backs.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put one more up on the board, read it, and then I'm gonna move. Who knows where the hell I'm gonna All right, let's go to this one right here. Michael Knights, thank you for the super chat. 12 teams start 8. Should I trade the 103 and 112 for the 102? Is Neighbors worth it? Have the 101. Have the 101. All right, I'm gonna bail out, guys.
To start 8, yes. It's start 8. Make this deal. I don't know if Neighbors is worth it. I just know whatever wide receiver you're going to be taking at 102 is probably worth it. I don't particularly care. Not that I don't care, but the 112 in a start 8. Wait, it couldn't be the 112. How's it the 112? Start 8, 12 team. Yeah. Jesus. Sorry about that. Start 8. No, yeah. I'm making this deal to move up 1 pick. Definitely.
Okay, so let's say I could add the 2 seconds to that 112 and I could get a 25 first. So now it's the 103 or it's the 102 and 2 seconds for the 103 and a 25 first. You doing that?
You just confused me. Run that.
Okay. So take out the 112.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're getting the 103 and a 25 first, but you also have to throw in 2 seconds. So I'm trying to just test out like how you want to decipher the value between the 102 and the 103. You're already locking Neighbors in as the locked in 102.
Right.
103.
Although, I mean, honestly, the 103 at this point, the way things are trending, could be also a wide receiver that's drafted in the top 10 at this point. So maybe it's not worth it, to be honest.
I think
just
out of
gut instinct. Yeah, out of gut instinct, I'm like, just take it, move up. Who cares? It's start 8. But yeah, as we talk through this, knowing that, like I said, this week especially, last week we've seen a lot of mock drafts and a lot of wide receivers in that top 20. So the difference between Neighbors might not even be the second wide receiver off the board in some mocks. So no, yeah, you know what? I'll hold tight. The 103 is fine.
The only thing I would say, I would still do this deal because it's a 1 QB. So, I mean, literally the pick is not that valuable. But I think the message is wherever you think the tier breaks are. So in Superflex, it's probably the 105, right? 105, 106, depending on the tight end premium. If you're willing to go outside of the comfort zone on those tiers as they stand right now, you can probably get some extremely good deals. You just have to be willing to take the risk. Oh, man, I'm locked into either getting Jaden Daniels or Drake May, but I'm willing to trade back to the 109. And someone's offering you a 25 first and a second, and you settle for JJ McCarthy or you settle for the best player available. A lot of people, I'm not trading those picks, but there are some deals where you're like, okay, if I can get enough, I am willing to trade back and pick up the extra capital. So I just want to throw that out there, that there's always a price. You got one you want to throw up, or you want me to drive?
Let's go ahead and grab. I'll drive. You be the boss. Did we already do this one? Yes, we did. So let's not do that one. All right, we got Professor Chaos. He's got a super chat coming. It's a 2-parter. I'll read. 12-team super flex, 2 tight end premiums, 6-point passing touchdown, start 10. He's got Burrow and Stroud and Geno at QB, at running back Swift, Ramondre, Dobbins, Akers. They don't even want it. What?
Why do we list Dobbins and Akers?
Yeah, I know. Like, just cut them. Like, there's no reason to mention them. So it's Swift, Mondre, and
that you can put in place one word: cans.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Or retirees, because these are gentlemen that are probably going to be eligible for Social Security from all the injuries that they've had. Hopkins, Metcalf, Addison, Flowers, Addison, again, Downs, and Pickens at wide receiver. Freiermuth and Musgrave. He's got a bunch of picks: 205, 212, 306, and he made a mistake. Haven't we all? We've been there, Professor Chaos. Overexposed to running backs. How do I move pieces to compete this year?
I mean, was this question from like 2021? You're not overexposed on running backs
you're
here.
Really not. I mean, Dobbins. Let's just cut to the point. Dobbins and Akers are not assets. They're not even players that I would count on playing next year. Like being on a football team, they might.
I would actually count on them playing, but they're not good. Especially Akers is not good, and Dobbins has an Achilles on top of an ACL. So, yeah, you're not overexposed at running back. Name-wise, you are. If you can move those two for anything, you're not overexposed for running backs. You're in the sweet spot with the draft picks where you could probably trade for one of those other older running backs we were talking about. Like, I don't think you're overexposed to running backs at all. Your receivers could be better. But yeah, the running back question here, you're not overexposed. You can just use more assets here, but you don't have a running back problem. Oh, Shay, which one you want to go to? We got another super. B King. Throw this one up there for you, Shane. 10-team super flex, start 9, half-point tight end premium. Look at that QB room. Lamar, Anthony Richardson, Matt Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers. Bijan and Cans. Wilson, Reek, Drake London, Josh Downs, Dallas Goedert. 209, 303, all future picks. So the 209 and the 303 would be pick 19 and pick 22 in the rookie draft. Stay put or suggestions to make this team better, Shane? What you thinking?
So it's interesting because immediately I go in my mind, I'm like, I want to move Lamar or A-Rich, or at least test the market and see how high of a player I could get in return for them, because I'm fine with Stafford and Rodgers as my QB2. Problem with Stafford and Rodgers, though, is that might literally be a one-year bet on both those gentlemen. So I don't know how I feel about that. It looks like he already went Hero RB. It's start 9. You know what? In start 9, Lamar and A-Rich could absolutely be devastating. And Bijan and Tyreek. And
Wilson.
If you want it to, if you got like really want to make sure that I absolutely destroy people, sure, Garrett Wilson in the 209 and the 303 for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Something like that.
Upgrade on Goddard here, maybe. See if you can throw one of those picks to get an Andrews or something like that. I mean, would you get out of the Goddard range?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind moving up for a tight end here, because we also have limited places. Keep in mind, we have limited places where we can actually improve this roster, and tight end is one of them. So we might as well attack it.
Yep, agree. Clay is back. He has a different background.
Back. Yeah, down in the kitchen. You can see what a ring light does, huh? Look like ass without one. Okay, Benny, thank you for your hammer, sir. 12-team Superflex, start 10, half PPR, 1 PPR for tight ends. I have 0 QBs, not ideal. Chase at wide receiver, running back, Ramondre. Also has JSN and Hollywood at wide receiver, and then Kyle Pitts. 101, 106, 109, 110, 201, 2, and 12. The league is hard to get trades in. Do I overpay to get a QB or just take my time? Worried that if I can't kick these later first back to 25, then I might not have an opportunity to overpay again. That's a good question. So what do you think here? 12-team Superflex, start 10.
What's available here, do you think? Or what would you send out, Shane? Would you be trying to send out 2 of the later picks to try to get a quarterback, or what?
You could do that, or you could just go, here's the 109. Can I go get Deshaun Watson or Bryce Young? Again, I'm still, I don't know if bullish is the word, but I still believe they'll be competent enough that they'll be more usable than nothing. Yeah, than nothing. I think if you want to go cheap, you could try that. But yeah, you could try the 109 and the 110 for what? Jordan Love? Does that feel like?
So my only pushback is you add Jordan Love to this team. Is this team winning anyway?
Chase, Ramondre, Jason. No.
So doesn't it feel like you just take Marv or, whatever you want to do, right? You have the 101. But when you say you just kind of slow play it, every pick slot, you slow play it, see if you can trade back, accumulate assets. Like this team isn't winning. I'd actually rather be trading away someone like Ramondre or Hollywood or even JSN and just trying to kind of retool. Like I'm not going all in on a quarterback right now. Because if someone offered you, Shane, I will give you Josh Allen for the 101 and the 106 on this team. Are you doing it? Because now you have Josh Allen and the 9th best team.
Chase, and he literally just listed one wide receiver. I know he listed Jason and Hollywood. I got a feeling this team
doing it. I give you Josh Allen. You give me the 101 and the 106 with this roster. Are you taking it?
I got a feeling that the rest of this roster is not looking any better, and I have no assets to do anything else. So I would probably pass. Depends on the mood you got me in, because if you get he still doesn't have another quarterback.
And so right there, we offered the best quarterback for a discount, and we all said to decline it. So that tells me this is not the time to overpay for a QB. Sorry, Benny, give it another year.
Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. That'd be one of those deals you'd be like, guys, I can get Josh Allen here, no context, just for the 101 and 106. And everybody's like, dude, smash that. And then you're like, but here's the thing. Here's the rest of my team. So it'd be Josh Allen and Michael Penix at one.
Then you wait a day and ask Shane the question, and he would go, man, you got to tear down off Josh Allen.
Yeah, for sure.
Got to get the 101 and the 106.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of wild when you're like, I need those 2 pieces in it just to start 10. But yeah, that team needs help. Let's go to Ant. Thank you very much for the hammer. We have a 12-team Superflex start 11, half PPR, no tight end premium. Finish the startup year in second. QB, T-Law, Dak, Baker, Minshew, Stidham. Running backs, Jacobs, James Cook, Zamir White, Ty Chan, Gibson. Wide receivers, Ceedee, Garrett Wilson, Puka, DK, Flowers, Godwin, Bourne, Michael Wilson. Tight end, we have Jay Ferg, Freiermuth, and Dulcich. Sold 24 first and second. Sold a 24 first, second, and a 25 second. What moves would you make? How would you bolster QB and Superflex? I don't know what that last part is.
Guys, I just want to, and I don't really care how this affects things. These general, like, what moves to make, I got to be honest with you. You got to be a little more specific here. What moves would I make? There's a whole bunch of shit I would do with this team. Can I describe it to you in the span of 5 minutes? Can I do it justice is what I guess I should say. Can I do it justice in this format? Probably not. Like, this is more in-depth talk than trade this guy for that guy. But sure, go back. Who were his quarterbacks?
Yeah. Dak, T-Law, Baker.
Okay.
Well, I'll just say this. I think Shane's right, but maybe this is a more eloquent way to say it. Think about your roster construction. Why do you think I put out so much content on roster construction and we talk about it? Because your construction here actually isn't bad. I'd like to see how the rest of it looks, but you have 5 quarterbacks, 3 who are probably going to start, 2 who are probably pretty quality backups. I mean, we're down to listing Zamir White, Ty Chandler. So clearly he's collecting running backs, right? Before we talk about what to do with the trades, go to the next page real quick.
Yeah, one sec. Right here. Ceedee, Garrett Wilson, Puka.
Okay. Right. So we got too many tight ends, right? We don't need all 3. Probably can't get a thing for Dulcich. So you're probably going, can I trade Freiermuth for anything? Right? Kendrick Bourne, Michael Wilson, roster cloggers. Bourne, you can get nothing for. Michael Wilson, some people like him. But like those are the first moves. I'm kind of cleaning up the loose ends on my team. Then I'll go, okay, what do I have? What picks do I have? Let me get it to a point where everything is efficient as I can get it in February. February 6th. I really don't have much to do except for build a better team. Then you can start looking at what do I do with my picks? Who can I tier off of? But until we're there, if you ask me what to do, why do we have Kendrick Bourne? Why do we have 3 tight ends? And those are things where you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to have to get creative or wait a little time. But like that's where I'd start. But not recommending any trades, honestly.
And what was page 3? So he sold the 24 first, a second, and a second.
I don't
It-
get
it
that
was-
that trade at all. I mean,
Yeah, and
What did
the third part wasn't really anything. It was just
Wait, so what did he sell the 24 first for?
yeah, I know. I can see if I did a poor job of pasting the hammer or something like that. But yeah, it just says sold 24 first and second and 25 second. So it's just
I
saying
think
he
he's
doesn't
just-
have them.
I
Yeah.
think he's making a statement that he already just sold
Yeah.
those picks. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
All right, so just here's some actionable advice. Find someone that likes DK and Flowers more than you do and trade.
Those are the two I was saying that you could probably stomach taking a first for one of those guys and just banking it, because you don't have any
Yeah.
picks. I like that move.
You know what
Good
they
suggestion.
Yep. Casey, thank you very much for the 4 hammers. Hope you've been well. He says, sup guys, 12 team, 1 QB, half PPR, no tight end premium, start 9. Have Herbert, Gibbs, Kyron, Ramondre, Spears, Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Pittman, London, Dio John, and Goddard. Also have the 105 and 108. Would you do any of the following trades? And we'll just go one by one here. Goddard for Kyler Murray. 12 team, 1 QB, half PPR.
Yes.
Yep. 1 QB. I'd rather have the potential second quarterback, even if it's my starter. Yeah. I'll do that all day.
Kyron for Mixon, 104, and McBride.
If I traded Goddard for Kyler, now I'm getting Mixon, the pick, and
yeah.
sure. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I know. Just make
Cash
that.
deal.
Yeah. And then the third one is Kyron for the 102.
Well, you
and
can't make that deal
Hawkinson.
because you already accepted the second deal.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
last deal, right?
Yeah. Make sure you get Mixon, McBride, and the 104 for Kyron.
And we trade
first.
Kyron for 102 and Hawkinson, and then we trade Hawkinson for Kyler Murray. Boom. Done.
And hold on to Goddard since he can play football
Yeah, and
walk.
the last part was stack team and shallow league. You bothering trading Kyron or looking for a different trade. So that's a good point too. It's are you trading him? It's a 12 team 1 QB half PPR.
I mean, if I'm getting the returns that he just listed, yes, I am.
Like the 102.
Yeah, if that's the return, see you, Kyron. I love you, dude, but you're gone. I hope you succeed, but it ain't gonna be on my roster. If someone's like, here's the 206, I'm just gonna go, all right, well, I'll hold on to Kyron. If someone's like, here's the 112, I'll probably go, I'll hold on to Kyron.
And he's got Gibbs, Ramondre, Spears. I mean, look at his receivers. At any point, he could cash out on Amon-Ra, Wilson. I mean, he's got so many assets that would take the value.
Yeah. And anything else real quick while I'm just making another banner here? He bought us give us 4 hammers at a lower rake. Anything else you do with that team?
I mean, the reason I like the Kyler deal is because, you only have Herbert. If I can't get an elite QB, I guess the other option would be, could you get an even better QB with any of your picks? Say you did that Hawkinson deal, right? 102 and Hawkinson for Kyron. Now you're sitting on Hawkinson and Goddard. Can you move Hawkinson and something for a better quarterback? Like, could you get Hawkinson? Could you get Josh Allen if you gave up the 105 and Hawkinson chain? It's expensive, but it's a 1 QB. Like he's looking
totally would
do it.
upgrades in a start 9, right? Like give me the upgrade, even if I'm overpaying a little bit. Hell, give him Goddard too.
Yep. Allen makes that much of a difference.
Yep. Good stuff. Okay, Scott, we'll start with you here. Mike, thank you for the hammer. Appreciate it. 10 team super flex, only keep 3 QBs. That makes Shane's blood boil. It's keep 15, redraft 10. I have Watson, Fields, Carr. Have the 101 and 104, 202. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors, or Marvin Harrison Jr. and Daniels. And then he lists his team: Reed, Puka, Dell, QJ, Downs, Wicks. It's a start 10, no tight end premium, running back, Spears and Trash, Kmet and Kraft at tight end. He said he can't seem to sell a QB. We're going to hold off for a second here on his trade where he asks if it's a W. Start with this. Are you going Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors, or Marvin Harrison Jr. and Daniels with this team? 10 team super flex, only keep 3 QBs.
3 strikes here. So 1, it's a 10 team. Devalues the quarterback a little bit, right? 2, you can only keep 3, which what does that mean? There's going to be more quarterback availability out there. They're not going to be good, but they're going to be available. So again, the scarcity just isn't there. Then the third thing is the big point. Can't seem to sell a QB. So why would we use a premium pick on a QB? Like, you better be right. You know what I mean? Now, if you can trade the pick for something better at QB, yeah. But it sounds like the way his league treats this, it's like the stud skill players are where it's at. So to his question, I don't even know if Neighbors lasts to the 104, but I would prefer Neighbors and Marv and just take my chances with QBs being available. Watson, Fields, and Carr could win, especially when you can only keep 3. It means there's going to be others available sporadically. I assume it's like a 3. Is it a 3 QB limit, or is it I can only keep 3 with the 15? I'm guessing that's probably the latter. So you can roster even more during the season, right? Backups and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm taking Neighbors and Marv.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's go to this one right here, and I think I only have a couple coffees left. We are going to shut down the coffee store for this evening. Thank you very much. They were all
too
delicious.
late for coffee. You'll be up all night.
It's too late for coffee. So yeah, if you add in one after Brendan K, we will hit them on our next stream or soon. Okay. So let's go to this one right here. This was Ray bought us 5 hammers. I wonder if this is the Ray. So this is 14 team Superflex PPR 1.5 tight end premium start 11. And thank you very much. I have picks 101 through 104, 108, 112, 114, and 201. Quarterbacks are Levis and Goff. Tight end is McBride, and other players are wide receiver 2s and 3s, and running backs don't exist. And it was cut off, but it's what should my off-season moves be? Let's see if there's anything else. Any strategy advice? What are your thoughts?
Shane, how should I live my life? Answer it in 30 seconds.
Like, there's no tomorrow. Trade some of these fucking picks and get players. You've got the 101 through the 104. I mean, Jesus. Here, you want to have fun? Because I love rookie picks. Let's just draft. We're just going to draft unless we can trade them for
at 14-teamer. 14-teamer, Clay. Are you blasting all the QBs there?
100%.
Just going Caleb.
Bam, 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 bam.
He's got none. See, I'm not. See, I'll go Caleb, Jaden, and then 103. I'll
Marv and Neighbors.
104 Marv. Well,
You'll
no, I'll
mess
go
with the ADP.
Marv at 104 to
Yeah.
mess with the ADP. And I want people to just be like, how did he fall out of 4th in that league? Like, that's what I would do. And then 108 and 112, I'm just saying, can I consolidate that and go get me add it to one of those wide receiver 2s for a wide receiver 1? And then I'll stop and go, oh, wait a minute, it's start 11. Let me not go too crazy here. But I just added 6 starters from between the draft and the traded picks.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, we good to go on that one? Let me see. All right, let's go to our last coffee in the hopper, and thank you for those hammers, Ray. Brendan K, thank you for your hammer. It is a 10-team start 11 Superflex tight end premium, 1.75 for them. Give Addison, Nico, Pitts, and the 110. Get Jonathan Taylor, DK, Purdy in an early 25 seconds. Says only have Chandler at running back and all 10 firsts this year. Oh, that's awesome. We've definitely answered Brendan K's before. What do you think here? Shane's all hot and bothered. He's got all those firsts. Look at him.
I'm not doing this trade because I think I would prefer Nico and DK are probably a wash. Addison and Taylor. I'd probably go JT just in a 10-teamer. That running back means a little bit more. But then Pitts in a second, 110, and it's a 10-team. So I don't really value Purdy like as much as you should. And you have all 10 firsts. You don't need a QB. You know what I mean? I'm keeping the side I have. I'd rather do something different with that monopoly of picks.
Yeah, I agree.
Fun league until they make you make all 10 picks, but good chance this is a good class to have all 10 picks. So I think you did okay, Brendan. Going to be fine.
It'd be funny if he exhausted all the efforts prior to the draft and nobody wanted to trade with him or whatever. And then he just has a queue set and he just goes boom, 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 boom. And just sucks the life out of the league. Damn it, I really wanted him.
This is one of those teams where I'm pretty sure Shane would almost like super chat the listener. As long as it was an active league, like, here, Shane, you get to go play in my sandbox for 30 minutes with all these picks. Just go play. Go see what you can do for me.
Good stuff. Okay, so I guess we just have a few more supers here, but we also have a question from none other than Miss MJ Cruz, Mom on Fuego. Thank you for your question, MJ. Two QB league. I have Love and Rodgers with Blue Jeans as my quarterbacks. What do I do at pick 2 and pick 4? I feel I could trade pick 4 for a star player. I have Jefferson, Flowers, DJ Moore, Pickens, Dell at wide receiver, Gibbs at running back. So 2 QB. MJ, we don't have the number of starters here and some other stuff. But.
I think she's asked me about this league before. I believe it's 10.
Oh, man. 2 QB. It's hard to give up one of those picks unless I truly get a stud, you know? And I'd actually prefer to probably give up. I might even give up the 2 if it gets me an even better player. Here's the thing, Shane. What is the tier of studs that you would take here? 2 QB. I value those 3 QBs and Marv extremely high.
All right. Well, I mean, obviously, there's
like, I'd take all 3 QBs almost over Marv,
right?
Because of the format.
QB,
so they're all the picks are almost the same value to me. Pretty
start
much.
11. Start 11 actually.
Yeah, I mean, when I see 2 QBs, I just want quarterbacks. So yeah, I'm taking 2 of them.
Or, I mean, she's like, if she can trade pick the 4th overall pick for a star player, sure. I mean, can you get? I mean, it's got to be a star player though, right? Like, and it's got to be a star quarterback. I'm guessing.
I think what moving the 4 does is it gives you an idea of what you just traded for. You traded it for a receiver, which means you probably can take a quarterback at the 2 spot. Like, it gives you what you don't want to do is get stuck and go, I'm going to draft a QB at 2 because I really want Jaden Daniels. And then at 4, you get another QB. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd rather trade for something so I know what I have. But good problem to have in that format. Very good problem to have.
Yep. Good stuff. Thank you, Miss MJ. All right, let's go to this one right here from Justin Brooks. Hey, Scott, ended up finalizing that trade I got offered while we were live on Did It. Ended up being Minshew and Gainwell for Mike White, Trey Sermon, and the 104. I was able to keep Zamir White out. Is that not the most Scott Scott trade conversation ever? Excuse me. Slinging Minshew, Gainwell, Mike White, Trey Sermon, the 410. Talk about grinding the margins, Scott.
This is the degenerate shit that you get on Did It. It's funny because Justin, he goes like, we were almost done with our conversation and he interrupted me like, hey, I got this inbox offer. I'm going, oh, okay.
Nice.
And then it's this, which was, he got a counter and the other guy just had to have Mike White. So he was able to remove Zamir White, who's the only player in the whole deal with any value.
Yeah,
so,
awesome.
I mean, I think getting Gainwell and Minshew for literally nothing was a great deal. So, well done, Justin. That's how you grind.
Yeah, for sure. And check us out in the description. We're still doing Did It for sure. It's the first $25 are free on the call. So just go in the description. You can find our links to our expert pages. DM us, and we'll set up a chat. Okay.
And Did It needs to give us those like digital hourglasses so that you know exactly when the 10 minutes is.
Yeah. Because Siri does that for me right now. Okay, let's go to. Did we do this one, guys, from Michael Neitz? I feel like I did, unless he did another one. Trade the 103 and 112 for the 102. Yeah. Okay. You guys might have done that one. Jay Jackson, thanks for your super chat. 12 team start 10. Half point tight end premium. Would you send Bryce and the 106 for the 102? Have Mahomes, Tua, and Kyler.
And Shane, the 101 goes Marv. You doing this?
So I can just draft another quarterback? Like, how many quarterbacks do I need?
So now you're going to have Caleb Williams, Mahomes, Tua, and Kyler. Or you got to find another trade. Would you do it now or just be waiting?
The value's fine, and you have 3 months to make a trade. So I'm fine with making that deal and knowing that, all right, Tua's got to go. or this 102 is getting used in conjunction with something else to get me something like a stud wide receiver. So I'm fine with it. It's just I'm fine with it under the assumption I'm not ever actually making that pick unless I've traded Mahomes for Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase together, or Kyler for like a top 12 wide receiver.
What about Tua in the 102 for the 101 and a future first? You
Done.
doing that?
That's great.
That's the kind of counter you make. If you make this first deal, you got to be looking for creative counters, Jay. Good luck.
Good stuff. Vince has an inbox offer, and thank you for the super chat. 12-team Superflex start 10 in a vacuum. Give Chase and Garrett Wilson. Get Marv, Pittman, and Debo. Also have the 104 and 106, and he says in parentheses, likely neighbors. Love the content, boys. Appreciate it, Vince. Scott, you were shaking your head.
I mean, I'm passing on this. I'd still prefer.
Is this Chase Daniel, the quarterback, former quarterback for the well, a lot of
everybody
on the Athletic Pod now? Chase Daniels, is that who it is?
No, it's not. It is Chase Jamar, comma Chase, or Chase, comma Jamar. But give me Chase over Marv very slightly. I mean, you could go both ways on that, but give me Wilson over. I mean, basically, you're getting a Debo on top of Pittman. It doesn't move the needle here. Now, if you want to throw in a second, I'll listen. If you're willing to give me something else, or make the Debo a first, or I give a second and get a first, like something like that, I would listen. But as it is right now, 3 for 2, I'm good. Just give me the 2 guys, especially since I'm going to likely get neighbors as well. Give me the side I already have.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Not on the start 10. It would have to be a start 12 for me to hit accept as is.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go to Chris Cordova. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. 10-team start 9 Superflex PPR. QBs are Kyler and Watson. Running backs Bijan. Wide receiver Waddle, Pittman, London. And then Andrews at tight end. Picks, we have the 101, 103, 207, and a third. And then he asks, draft QB at 103, or trade for a wide receiver hammer. The 101 equals Marvin Harrison Jr. based on construction. Uses a couple of emojis in there. I like the effort. I don't know. Is it a cloud?
Thoughts on construction.
Thoughts on construction.
It's a 10-teamer, so I'm valuing definitely the 103 as non-quarterback if I can help it. I mean, team's okay. We don't know what the rest of his team looks like outside of 8 players in the picks. So, I mean, I'll just give a heads up to everybody. If you're going to ask a construction question, it almost has to be like a full review of your team because every spot matters. But here specifically, I would just be leaning not going quarterback. Unless you really have to have Jaden Daniels and you think he is the next Lamar or the next Anthony Richardson, like that, those would be the 2 picks.
And I think when you're drafting a quarterback in this range, when you're drafting a quarterback in these types of leagues, I would assume that's the hope, right? Like you're just shooting for the upside. You can live with them sucking. What you can't live with is them giving you 17 points a game. You know what I mean? Even though it sounds like, you know what I mean? Like just, I'd rather you be horrible than mediocre because I'm shooting upside for it.
Well, and the other thing to consider, it's a 10-team. I'm guessing guys like Geno Smith, Derek Carr, they're easy to get, so it's not like you have no QBs. Your QBs are okay. Yep. So I just don't need to rush it unless I really, really am a believer in the QB I'm taking. So either way.
Yep. Well, that is it, guys. We went for an hour and 53 minutes tonight.
We did.
We done.
Yeah. But it was good times. Still have 277 eyeballs in the crowd with us here. Appreciate you joining. Definitely hit that like if you'd be so kind. And yeah, hit us up for roster reviews. Do a live one with Shane and Scott. It's kick-ass. Email roster review at dynastytradesin5.com or go to dynastytradesin5.com/roster review. Yes, we do have a website. It's kick-ass. Go check it out over there. You can see the 3 options. Yeah, man, we're pumped to be partnered with Dynasty Nerds. Check out the Dynasty GM tool, Trades in 5 promo code everywhere, right, Shane? Like no matter where you go to Walmart, promo code Trades in 5 progressive. Oh, that's awesome. Appreciate everybody in the crowd. You guys want to say bye to our hammers, to our friends?
Appreciate everyone that stuck around, everyone that stopped in to say hi. Appreciate you all.
Crush the rest of the week. Appreciate everybody.
Yep. All right. I'm going to end the stream. Thanks.